We are absolutely in the craziest timeline. I don't think things have felt this crazy forever. Yesterday was absolute madness, but there's still more that Nintendo didn't tell you. Some secrets underneath the surface that now have surfaced that I think you need to know after yesterday's exciting, disappointing, strange, but all things considered, hypnotizing showcase. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I know some of you have said, man, Zach, you're a little bit hard on Nintendo yesterday, a little bit negative on some of their stuff. I do think they made some big goofs, and I do think they have us they just toy with us sometimes. They really do, don't they? They just know exactly how to get us. But I did want to start today off with something amazing, which is Pikmin 4 looks fantastic. If you're not into Pikmin, understandable. It's described as this strategy game, time management, micromanagement. It's so fun. Pikmin 3 is one of Nintendo's most underrated games ever, and now they have Poochman. They added a weird alien dog, and it's just brilliant. It's got to be one of the best inclusions Nintendo has made. I'm thinking like of all the great stuff they've brought to the forefront in the Switch era, Mario's Cappy to transform into enemies, like these game-changing features in new titles. Animal Crossing, the workbench, the crafting bench. Like, the dog in Pikmin is at that level for me. I think it's going to be a game changer in terms of movement speed, in terms of fun, and in terms of interesting ideas. Plus, it's just straight up adorable. So shout out to the team that did the pooch in Pikmin. It's brilliant, and it made me so happy. And honestly, despite everything after, because like everything was after it, Pikmin 4 was the first thing. When I really thought about it afterwards and I laid in bed, I was like, that dog in Pikmin is probably the coolest thing Nintendo showed. I don't know if that's an indictment or a compliment. Either way, I'm super pumped for Pikmin. I think it looks great. And then everything they're doing with Mario Kart is really fantastic. They truly are putting max effort into that, and I appreciate it so much. And that's one of the unknown things about the Direct that I wanted to bring to your attention. Not the fact that Mario Kart Wave 4 includes a new Yoshi's Island track and Birdo, but we did find a translated message from Nintendo where they said that future waves after this will also include new characters. This was a Japanese post translated to indicate that yes, Nintendo will be including more than just Birdo. And so I have the list here of the 7 missing characters, now 6 because Birdo's in there, from other Mario Kart games. And the translated post seems to indicate that they will be pulling from old Mario Karts, not new original characters. So yeah, we're not gonna have Captain Falcon or Pikachu racing in there, even though that would be amazing. Your candidates, though, for the next 2 waves are as follows. You've got Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Funky Kong, Honey Queen, Rob, and Wiggler. Those are your contestants to add in. And honestly, I think Diddy Kong has to make the list. Nintendo would be wise to announce a Donkey Kong for Switch since it doesn't have its own original game, but Diddy Kong feels like a lock. And then it's like Honey Queen, Rob, Wiggler. I think Rob would be really fun. Donkey Kong Jr. is not going to hit it. I don't think Honey Queen or Funky Kong hit it. I think it's Diddy Kong and then either Rob or Wiggler for your final 2 waves. But let me know in the comments down below who you'd be most excited for. Slim pickings, but it's at least cool that Nintendo is doing this. And I hope that they bring a brand new course and a brand new character over the final 3 waves. What an awesome way to spice things up for 2023. And what an awesome way to honor a game that, man, 50 million copies sold, and this is how they reward us? Normally we say that with dismay and with upset and with vitriol, but today we can say that with joy, because they really are doing such a good thing. There's some other Switch news that we gotta cover, including a big Breath of the Wild sale. So Nintendo is putting everything Breath of the Wild 30% off on the eShop until Tears of the Kingdom comes out. We've seen better prices for Zelda, but I just want to make you aware, if you need the DLC, if you're waiting to try Champion's Ballad, if you've never played Breath of the Wild, it's a good time to pick it up at 30% between now and May 12th when Tears of the Kingdom does come out. Now, this is where I feel things get so interesting, because to me, the most confusing part of yesterday's Nintendo Direct was the $70 price inclusion that Nintendo slipped in there without saying anything and without really proving anything, because Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it didn't get a big blowout. It got a small trailer that looks cool and Ganon sounds menacing. Zelda's asking for help, but why is it 70? Nintendo will not say. They have not said. I don't think they ever will say, but they did say this in an interview after the Direct, saying that we determine the suggested retail price for any Nintendo product on a case-by-case basis, and that all Switch games going forward will not be $70, only ones that they specifically select. So this is basically Nintendo's way of saying, hey, if we know a game is going to be heavily coveted, if we know you, the fans, want it most, we're going to charge $70. So like, hey, when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, that's probably a $70 game. If Mario Odyssey 2 comes out, that's probably a $70 game. Advance Wars 1 Plus 2, $60. Pikmin 4, $60. Basically, if they know they can get away with it, they're going to get away with it. There's a good and a bad to this. The good is that, okay, at least not every game's 70. The bad is, well, they just get to pick. And how are they going to pick? And do we feel kind of weirdly cheated by that? As of right now, Nintendo is not announcing any new hardware. And the fact that the games are on a case-by-case basis tells me that maybe there isn't new hardware anytime soon. If they're just going to cherry pick Zelda and Mario and whatever else for $70, then Nintendo just wants more money. Now, I did see an interesting stat that if you go and take $60 on the launch day of Breath of the Wild back in 2017, it's equivalent to about $70 today as per United States inflation. From that standpoint, I can't be too angry at it, and some would argue that $60 is a real steal for a lot of games, especially considering how expansive games are now, their multiplayer options, and how much development time it really takes, and the team size is needed to make these games stellar. Nintendo usually delivers amazing games, and they're going to be charging $70 for the ones that they know are most amazing. So it feels like this yin-yang situation of like, man, I want to be upset because Nintendo shouldn't be charging $70 when they haven't released new hardware, when there's not a graphical uptick. But I also have the logic brain in me that says, okay, games have been $60 forever. Inflation is a thing. Even though the Switch graphics aren't stunning, I'm sure everything just costs more as time goes on. So is it so bad if Nintendo does this pick and choose? Like, pick and choose is either really upsetting to you because they're getting you with the games you're gonna buy, and so you're basically being punished for being like a massive Nintendo fan of their biggest IP, or you feel like, okay, it's only gonna be their big ones, and truly Nintendo only releases like one or two actually huge games a year. Like a new Pokemon would be $70, a new Mario would be $70, but it's not like we're getting 5, 6, 7 of those a year. And in some ways it's like, okay, they're keeping the $60 price point for majority of their titles. Now, of course, with everything Nintendo, they could go back on this in a heartbeat. And we've seen Nintendo do that many times where they announce, we have no new DS hardware, and then boom, there's a new DS out. We have no plans to announce anything new, and then boom, in comes the OLED. They love to do that. They cater to the here and now. They live in the present. They're all about right now. And who knows what happens in the next few hours or the next few days or the next few months. So this could change, but as of right now, it's like Zelda is the $70 Switch game, and I bet the next one is either 3D Mario or Metroid Prime 4. They kind of did us a solid by delivering Metroid Prime Remastered for $40, and that game actually has pretty darn good graphics. So it feels sort of strange, arbitrary, and a little goofy, but because others are going to $70, and because Tears of the Kingdom is going to be massive, at the end of the day, I'm a bit irked, but I'm not too bothered. Once I saw that stat that like 60 at Breath of the Wild launch is equal to 70 today, it's like, okay, I'm basically paying the same price for the sequel to like the best Zelda ever. And is that so bad after all? Like, maybe it's setting a bad precedent. Maybe it's me not thinking pro-consumer, but should we really get a $10 discount on the brand new Zelda that took a long, long time and probably has insane content? We still don't know a ton about it, so maybe we wait and like evaluate this again once we get more information. And I hope that there's a big direct or something just for Zelda to show us what are the features of this game. But in the meantime, Zelda's 70, and who knows when the next 70 will be. Maybe there won't be another 70, but there will be another 70. So let me know in the comments if you are excited, neutral, or bummed about Nintendo's case-by-case approaches to the $70 price point. And let me know about the Mario Kart characters now that we know a new one is coming every wave. That's pretty freaking sweet. And of course, if you're a Pikmin Poochman fan, please holler at me. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.